So let's get on with this video. So yeah, I'll basically be talking about basically the problems that Doctor Who is having at the moment. The fact that we're all hearing all these different things. People, you've got the general dweeks who don't really care, if the show's on or not. But then you've got, passionate Doctor Who fans who are actually really looking into the stuff that is happening and looking into the facts on, oh my god, what lied for the show. So yeah, as we all know, we're on. Well, a lot of people calling it a hiatus. It's only a year, so I think really I don't want to class it as a hiatus, but I suppose we are on hiatus. Doctor Who is on a break for a year. I personally don't think that this is a problem, at all. It does piss me off a little bit that we've not got a series this year, but looking back at series 9, there's no better way of saying this. I just think that Doctor Who it needs a bit of air. It needs a break. It really needs a break. And I think series 9 proved it. I didn't think it was going to show as much, but series 9 just proved how bad Doctor Who is at the moment. We were having recycled storylines, we were having old characters which, almost reincarnated. You look at a character and think, look, we've got a character like that, we've seen a character like that. A lot of reused dialogue as well. It was just all so it was just recycled stuff. Nothing new, much really, or stuff which has literally just been grabbed from different stories. But what do I think the problem with Doctor Who is? Why is Doctor Who the way it is at the moment? I genuinely think it is because I think that the show has become too global, it's become beyond too popular, and the truth is that programmes like Doctor Who just aren't on the telly anymore, which is quite frustrating, but that's just how it is. There aren't any TV shows around that have been on for 10 years now, back on telly. There just isn't any shows like that, and there isn't really any sci-fi fantasy sort of shows that are in terms of a UK audience anyway. But yeah, I really don't know. It's just I'm actually kind of losing hope for the show. I'm actually after Hellbent, I just thought, I had that overreaction, and then I just thought, nah, it's not worth it. It really, especially after The Husbands of River Song, I just thought there is no point even defending it. There's just no energy for me to go, oh, well, it was bad, because, or I suppose it was good. No. It's people like me, what the Doctor Who people don't like. They don't like their fans having opinions. If you've got an opinion, it's pretty much with the BBC, they're just like, oh, well, if you don't like our show, then, get lost, really, and, we don't want you a part of us, which is pretty much what it's like, which is horrendous. And then you're getting, stuff like the Doctor Who fan show, and you're getting all those people just sitting there, going, oh yeah, great episode, where, why can't we have someone who actually goes on it and goes, you know what, that's rubbish. I was genuinely not happy with what it was like. Instead of just saying all this stuff, going, oh yeah, making it sound so positive. Because that's the thing that I'm most concerned about, is that Doctor Who doesn't accept criticism. It's not accepting the criticism that it's being given, it's just... And I really don't know how to react to this bull. I really... Look, truthfully, I was watching a video by Matthew and Billy on the Reviews of Death on Batman March's channel, so do check that out. But what they were basically saying is, it was pretty obvious that, you know, from this, what we've seen in this in articles, you know, they've basically said, oh, 2016 is going to be a really cramped sort of year. We want Stephen to have 2017 because a lot of stuff is happening then, and it's going to be like a big, grand national send. I really don't know. That's probably the most biggest pile of Dalek bollocking crap that I've heard, like, in ages. Like, no, I'm sorry, but that's not working with me. The truth is, it's like they can't afford it. They cannot afford to make more Doctor Who. That is the general reason. Like, people are going to say different. I think, no, I don't think that. It is, like, I'm not being funny. What's different to Stephen Moffat than anyone else? I mean, they wouldn't wait a year. Like, the BBC would love a cramped, you know, schedule, you know, because it would get more viewers in, and they won't have all these constant gaps in between television schedules. So, saying, oh no, yeah, that's what's happening, it's just ridiculous, really. It really, really is. But yeah, I just don't, it's just, there's no, it's just, I feel that Doctor Who has got to that point where it's too big, it's too popular, people are expecting too much from it, because it's literally everything, you know, everything Stephen tries, you know, people don't want. You know, we get this, people don't like that, we get more Clara, people don't like that, we get less Clara, people don't like that. It's, you know, I kind of feel sorry for Stephen Moffat in a way, because everything he's doing, it's not pleasing people. And it doesn't help where the BBC are just getting a bunch of fans, well, so-called fans, to pretend to like things, which is true. I mean, you know, when you watch stuff like The Fan Show, you sort of think, you know, what are you doing? Like, why are you lying? Why are you defending this man? It's just like, what? I think the problem that Doctor Who's got in general for me is that it's just like, it's just a programme that you expect to be on. It's sort of gone a bit like, I know this is a bad way to describe it, it's kind of like, you know, like a soap, like EastEnders, you know, it's on 4 days a week, and you always expect it, you know, on those days. That's what Doctor Who's become like. Because I felt when Series 9 came along, I was just expecting it. I didn't go, oh yeah, Doctor Who's coming back. It was like, I was just assumed that there was going to be Doctor Who. Before news even came across, I was like, oh yeah, there will be Doctor Who. And I did with this year as well, before it was announced. I assumed there'd be a series this year. Which is shocking, really, because the fact that, you know, I'm supposed to be like, oh wow, you know, Doctor Who's back. Like, I don't know where those days have gone. And I think another thing that really got over my head at the moment is, it's like with Series 9, like, Stephen had completely changed the 12th Doctor's character. Completely changed him. I mean, when you look at Series 8 and then when you look at Series 9, you sort of think, you know, what? But, you know, what has pretty much happened is that, you know, Stephen has obviously, you know, he's been looking through fans and he's gone, crap, you know, people aren't liking this older bloke as the Doctor. We need to somehow make him fun and exotic and a bit mad. But I think giving him a guitar and sonic shades and these stupid forced jokes is going a bit far with it. Because the truth is, that isn't how Stephen Moffat writes things. Stephen Moffat isn't good at that. He's good at dark, scary things, and I feel that he's been put into a show where it's full of gimmicks, and it's not what, I don't think it is what Stephen Moffat wants. It's pretty much, I feel like sometimes the BBC just go up to Stephen and go, yeah, by the way, we want all your characters to have like a catchphrase that we can sell on mugs and t-shirts and promote. And it's like, it's kind of like that. But I think really, who's to blame really is that I don't think it's Stephen Moffat. I don't think Stephen Moffat has been the problem. It's pretty much the BBC. The BBC are being quite soft with the show. They're literally just letting them get on with what they need to do. I think the BBC need to turn around to the Doctor and Crew and go, look, we can't have this anymore. We need something else. Or they need to have a big meeting and say, you know, let's find out what the audience like and what the audience don't like. They need to do questionnaires, Q&As. They need to go around the general public and just do polls and just find out, you know, what the fans want and what their target audience is. Because at the moment, I just feel that, you know, they're just dishing up the same dish all the time. And after a while, it does get quite flattening. So that's why I think when Chris Chibnall comes along, I would be very surprised if the show, the way it's carried on at the moment, it will last even a year or even two, because it's just, it needs desperate change. The show needs something to happen. Like, I mean, I doubt it's going to happen in the next series, but they need to make it not, you know, quirkish. They just need to make it rememberable and enjoyable. You know, despite what people think, you know, with like the Tennant era, like in fact Ross Wesley Davis era in general, there's so much I can remember from that era more than I remember Capaldi's, and I feel that, and it's a real shame really how Capaldi's Doctor's getting treated, because it is the 80s all over again. It is the Sixth Doctor era all over again. You know, we're getting a Doctor that's getting badly treated, it's not getting the respect from the fans that it should be, and I generally do think that Capaldi won't be around for much longer. I honestly do think that Capaldi will end up leaving next year, because I personally feel it seems quite obvious that that's what they're going to go for. I reckon they'll do a very sort of end of time sort of style of storyline to write the Doctor's character out, because the way I think it is, I think the BBC will probably just be like, yeah mate, you know, you're going, pretty much, we don't need you, we're getting someone else in, we're going for a bigger change, because I think Capaldi wouldn't want to leave, but I think the BBC would probably just, you know, just go, sorry mate, but you've done what you've done, really. I'm surprised that they're even letting Capaldi carry on, because I honestly thought that Series 9, I've got a bad feeling that it's going to affect Capaldi, which it has. I don't think they'll go for a woman Doctor, like a lot of people ask, oh, do you think it's going to be a female if Chris Chibnall takes over? I did to start with, but now I'm not too sure. I personally think that what will happen is they will go, I think it's going to be obvious that they'll go for a much younger Doctor. They might go for a much younger unknown actor who will bring a lot of viewers in, and I think they'll make it much more adventurous and more like it used to be. Well, I hope so anyway. And as bad as it is to say, I've loved having an older Doctor, but I'm actually kind of excited, because as long as he's not too young, but I think if for Doctor Who to survive, if it means getting a new writer in, and you know, if it means completely recasting all the cast and crew, then so be it, because it's just, I'm sick of it now. I'm sick of having stuff like this happen, you know, watching stuff and trying to defend it, when you go, what's the point? We've seen it, we've been there before. But really, I think Doctor Who, I think it needs a longer break than a year. I would give it 2, possibly even 3, maybe. I think the episodes need to be cut as well. I mean, although they've cut it to 12, I personally think, there's not a lot of shows out there anymore that are up to 13 episodes. I think the way I would have structured Doctor Who is 8 episodes a year. I'm not sure if that would include a Christmas special or not, but I personally think that they should go for a much smaller format. But seriously, Doctor Who is in so much trouble at the minute, and I think that it needs desperate change. It needs a break. I'm hoping that this year it sort of refreshes a bit, and it gets its peace and gets to quiet down a bit and gets what it needs, really. But yeah, please do let me know what you think about Doctor Who. Do you think that Doctor Who is in serious trouble? How do you think they can resolve this problem? Because it's pretty clear they've run out of money, because they've done a Doctor Who festival last year, and I did sort of think to myself, it seems very random for them to do a convention just out of the blue. It was pretty clear that they're trying to make money with the fans, trying to make them buy all this merchandise. But clearly their plan has failed, it's not worked, they've still not got the budget. Merchandise, selling. And yeah, I mean, I originally thought, they can't get rid of Doctor Who because they're making so much money because of the amount of pointless products that are being released. But now it's kind of made me realise that, we're getting Doctor Who aprons, mugs, duvets, slippers, dressing gowns, possibly snow globes. You've got Doctor Who snow globes and all that sort of stuff. Is their way of making money? Because I actually think that it's either the BBC are just desperate for money in general, or the show itself is in debt. I think since Day of the Doctor, it's almost like they spent so much budget on Day of the Doctor, and from Day of the Doctor to about the end of Series 8, it's just why do they feel that they need to have such a high budget? Because personally, I wouldn't care if Doctor Who was on a low budget. It wouldn't bother me. I mean, I don't think it's all about the effects. I mean, I feel that Doctor Who, especially now, uses way too much CGI within the show. So I think it'd be quite nice to see how they get around that. That would have been quite interesting. I mean, Doctor Who is meant to be a show, that takes risks and takes things that they know. I mean, I don't think Series 10 happening this year wouldn't have been undoable. I mean, in fact, any sort of season, really. I mean, it wouldn't have bothered me if we had a year of specials. I mean, I wasn't overly happy with it in the Tennant era, but, I'd rather have had, specials, etc. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, I mean, structured episodes, I don't see why we need, lots of different episodes. I mean, why can't we have, a 5-part series, and it's, all one story? Because that would be quite interesting, that would be quite new, because then people go, oh, that's quite interesting Doctor Who approach, because, everyone's so used to the, 13 episode format. I think that would have been quite interesting to have, 5 stories, which is all, one story, and it's all connected, and it's like part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. You know, why can't they do that? I don't know. But yeah, it's just, you know, I think the most worrying thing is that even fans are losing hope for people that are actually working in the show. Like, a lot of people are just going, oh, Stephen Moffat this, Stephen Moffat that, this director this, director that, BBC this. You know, fans are actually losing hope with people that are working on the show, which are the people we're supposed to be praising and saying how great the show is, where I can't really do so, because I feel that, you know, I'm not going to say that they're lazy, because I know from what I've seen that the Doctor Who crew work their arses off to get a series on the road. But I can't help but thinking, in terms of like the writing department, it is quite lazy. You know, we've got no script editors anymore. There's no one else's opinion. Like, I don't see why they can't have someone go, yeah, actually, Stephen, instead of doing that, why don't we add this in? Or why don't we, you know, get rid of this? Or change that? It's just, ugh. But yeah, I think the best thing they need to do is they need something to change. They need to find out what the audience want. They need to find out what their target audience is. You know, family members. What do family members want to see? You know, I mean, yeah, make Doctor Who scary, but also have a little joke in there. You know, like Series 1. You know, Eccleston was a very, very dark Doctor. In fact, he's probably the darkest Doctor that we probably had in New Who. I mean, Capaldi's getting there, but I mean, a dark Doctor like the 9th Doctor, even he got his comedic moments. So, and they weren't like awfully bad. So I don't see why they can't do that with Capaldi like they did in Series 8. But I just think it's a real shame that Capaldi isn't getting appreciated for what he's done for the show. Like, a lot of people just saying, I don't like. I still get people come up to me saying, "Oh, I don't like Capaldi's Doctor. He's just not enjoyable," which hurts, you know, because he's a very talented actor. In fact, he's probably the most talented actor we've had on the show. And as soon as Capaldi leaves, I honestly think the fans are really gonna look back on Capaldi's era and think how much like appreciation he should have got, and what a lot of fans missed. But yeah, that's all I can really say about the show, really. I just hope that a change is being made. Like, I really hope that Chris Chibnall is starting to write, you know, relatable characters with meaning, not all this story arc crap. Less of the timey-wimey, bit more reality involved as well. I mean, I kind of liked what they had in, you know, the first 3 seasons of Doctor Who. You had very sort of reality sort of styles and quite a lot of political views on things. I want a bit more of that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video, I guess. But like I said before, please do comment or share, you know, what your feelings on, you know, Doctor Who is, and what are you personally feeling about it. I mean, I don't want to feel like I'm hating on the show, but the truth is, I'm actually starting, like, not to care. Like, I just don't care anymore. I just don't care. Like, if it's not on this year, if it's not on next year, it's got to me. It's really got to me. It's made me feel quite depressed, really, that a show that I absolutely love, and I'm saying these things. But yeah, please do comment down below what you think, and I will see you whenever or whatever my video is. So, thank you very much.